When most people think of India, they still think of ancient civilization, spirituality, or a massive tech workforce. But that picture is outdated, because one of the most important stories about India today is not about its past, it is about what the country is building right now. In the last few decades, India has created large-scale solutions for real-world problems. How do you move money instantly across a country of more than 1 billion people? How do you give affordable mobility to amputees who could never pay for high-end prosthetics? How do you protect children from deadly disease at scale? How do you build digital identity systems for entire populations? And how do you turn plastic waste into something as practical as roads? That is what makes modern India so important. It is not just producing technology, it is producing systems that work under pressure, at scale, and at low cost. And in many cases, the world is already paying attention. And if you're interested in how technology is reshaping global power and how rising nations like India are transforming the future, consider subscribing. This channel explores the biggest technological shifts changing the world. Today, we're looking at 5 Indian inventions that are changing the modern world. Let's begin with one of the biggest financial innovations of the 21st century, UPI. UPI stands for Unified Payments Interface. It was launched in 2016 by the National Payments Corporation of India. Its goal was simple but incredibly powerful: to allow people to transfer money instantly between bank accounts using mobile phones. That may sound normal now, but what made UPI revolutionary was not just the concept, it was the scale. India did not build another isolated payment app. It built a public digital payment infrastructure that connected banks, apps, merchants, and users into one interoperable system, and the result was enormous. By March 2026, UPI was processing more than 22 billion transactions in a single month. That is not a niche product, that is national infrastructure. UPI changed daily life in India. Street vendors, drivers, shop owners, restaurants, and ordinary families could all receive or send money instantly, often just by scanning a QR code. In many places, digital payment became easier than cash. And that is why UPI matters globally, because it showed that a country can build fast, low-friction digital payments as a public system, not just as a private business model. UPI is not only an Indian success story, it is one of the clearest examples of how digital public infrastructure can reshape finance. Number 2, Jaipur Foot. The second invention is far more human. The Jaipur Foot is one of the most important low-cost prosthetic innovations ever created in India. It was first developed in 1968 in Jaipur. Later, its large-scale distribution was expanded through the organization BMVSS, founded in 1975. What made the Jaipur Foot so important was not luxury, appearance, or expensive materials, it was accessibility. This prosthetic was built for people who needed something affordable, durable, and practical for everyday movement. That includes walking on uneven ground, sitting cross-legged, and functioning in real living conditions, not just clinical settings. That matters because millions of people around the world cannot afford advanced prosthetic limbs. For them, high-end medical technology may as well not exist. The Jaipur Foot changed that equation. It showed that a prosthetic does not need to be extremely expensive to restore dignity and mobility. And that idea had global impact, because real innovation is not always about adding complexity. Sometimes it's about making something useful available to the largest number of people possible. That's exactly what Jaipur Foot represents, a breakthrough in human-centered design. Number 3, ROTAVAC. The third invention is ROTAVAC, an Indian-developed vaccine against rotavirus. Rotavirus has long been one of the leading causes of severe diarrhea in infants and young children. In low-income settings especially, that can become deadly. So this is not a minor medical issue, it's a major public health problem. The roots of ROTAVAC go back to research in New Delhi between 1986 and 1988, when the vaccine strain was identified. After years of development, the vaccine was introduced into India's national immunization program in 2016. Then, in 2018, it received World Health Organization pre-qualification. That was a major step because it confirmed international recognition and opened the path for broader global use. What makes ROTAVAC especially important is that it reflects a very specific model of innovation. It was designed around a serious health need, large population scale, and affordability. That's what sets India apart in this field. It's not only producing medicines, it's developing solutions for public health challenges that affect millions of people. ROTAVAC matters because it shows that India can do more than produce at scale. It can innovate at scale. Number 4. MOSIP. The fourth invention is one of the least famous on this list, but also one of the most strategic. MOSIP, the Modular Open Source Identity Platform. It was established in 2018 at IIIT Bangalore. Its purpose is to help countries build secure national digital identity systems using an open and modular framework. This is a bigger deal than it may sound, because digital identity is one of the foundations of the modern state. Without reliable identity systems, it becomes harder to deliver public services, reduce fraud, connect citizens to banking, and manage welfare programs efficiently. What makes MOSIP especially important is that it was built not only for domestic use, it was built to be adopted by other countries. By 2025, MOSIP was already working with countries across Asia, Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, supporting identity systems for tens of millions of people. That turns MOSIP into something more than software. It becomes exported state capacity, and that's a major shift. India is no longer just supplying talent to global tech companies, it's creating frameworks that help governments build their own institutions. That's a much deeper form of influence. MOSIP may not be the most famous invention on this list, but in terms of long-term geopolitical relevance, it may be one of the most important. Number 5. Plastic roads. The fifth invention is less glamorous but incredibly practical. Plastic roads. India became globally known for advancing the use of processed plastic waste in road construction. The basic idea is straightforward. Instead of treating discarded plastic only as garbage, part of it can be mixed into asphalt under specific engineering methods. That means one innovation can address two problems at the same time: waste management and infrastructure. India did not leave this only at the level of theory. It developed guidelines, expanded implementation, and incorporated the concept into public road building programs. By 2021, the government reported hundreds of kilometers of national highways built using waste plastic in road layers. Later, the policy push became even broader. This matters because plastic roads represent one of the clearest strengths of Indian innovation: pragmatism. This is not technology designed for headlines, it's technology designed for conditions on the ground. How do you reduce waste pressure? How do you improve materials? How do you make infrastructure work better in a country with huge development demands? That's the logic behind plastic roads, and it's also the logic behind many of India's most successful inventions. Honorable mention: Jagadish Chandra Bose. And before we close, there's one more name worth mentioning: Jagadish Chandra Bose. He's not part of the main top 5 because his work belongs to an earlier chapter of modern science, and because the development of wireless communication involved multiple pioneers. But his role was remarkable. In the late 19th century, Bose demonstrated the transmission and detection of radio waves and carried out pioneering research in microwaves and wireless signaling. That makes him one of the great scientific figures connected to India's broader innovation story. And it also reminds us of something important. India's contribution to modern innovation did not begin with digital payments, vaccines, or identity systems. It reaches further back into the scientific foundations of the modern world itself. If you look at these 5 inventions together, a clear pattern emerges. UPI transformed digital payments. Jaipur Foot made mobility more accessible. ROTAVAC strengthened public health. MOSIP helped redefine digital identity infrastructure. And plastic roads showed how waste can become part of the solution. These are very different inventions, but they are all built on the same principle. Solve real problems, make the solutions scalable, keep the cost low enough for mass adoption. That's why India's role in modern innovation matters so much. It's not just creating products, it's creating systems for a world that needs affordable, durable, high-scale solutions. And in many areas, that makes India one of the most important innovation laboratories on Earth. Because the future will not be built only by the richest countries, it will be built by the countries that learn how to solve hard problems for the largest number of people. And right now, India is doing exactly that.